Good morning, good morning. Here's what's been happening lately. Illinois Governor Juliana Stratton and Representatives Robin Kelly and Roger Krishnamoorthi went toe-to-toe in an hour-long debate on Monday night as the three vie for the Democratic nod to succeed retiring Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin in March. Here are a few key takeaways from the debate. First, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Second, politicians' effectiveness in office. Third, taxes, and lastly, workforce development. Let's break it all down. First, ICE was an early focus in the debate. The ICE involved shootings of 37-year-old Alex Preddy and 37-year-old Renee Good became an early focus on the debate when one of the moderators put the question to the candidates what legislative reforms they would seek from the Department of Homeland Security if elected.
We have seen so much terror inflicted upon our communities. He said he would go after the worst of the worst, and he ended up sending his agents, his rogue agents, to snatch people off the streets, stuff them into unmarked vehicles with no due process, no warrants, nothing.
First of all, Trump did say when he got elected that he would go after the worst of the worst. Instead, he went after families. He separated families. He terrorized neighborhoods. And then he basically disrupted our economy at the same time. I'm the only candidate on this stage that's been evicted by the CPD when we performed inspections of ICE facilities. I'm the only candidate on this stage that actually inspected an ICE facility itself. Not a single dollar more for ICE or DHS. That's the way I voted last week, and that's the way the Senate should vote. Secondly, impeach Noam, and I join Robin Kelly in that motion. Third, we have to make sure they unmask ICE, wear identification, and finally have an inspector general within ICE to make sure they abide by the rules and regulations of the
Homeland Security is too big, too unwieldy, and not accountable. And we need to do all this in the guise of immigration reform. It can't be one thing or another. We have to look at Border Patrol. We have to look at USCIS that oversees asylums. We have to land the plane on the dreamers and make them American citizens.
Next, Stratton went on the attack against Krishnamoorthi.
Congressman, no matter what you say now, you already demonstrated that you're not going to show up when it matters. To take money from one of the ICE contractors, the chief technology officer of Palantir, and that funds your campaign, that demonstrates that that's not what is your priority. I'm not taking any corporate PAC money in this race because I'm going to stand up for the people, and this is an example of why people are fed up with Washington insiders. But let me tell you who else he's accepted money from. From Donald Trump's MAGA advisors, from architects of Project 2025. He's accepted corporate PAC money from some of the corporations that are working to build Donald Trump's personal golden ballroom.
The lieutenant governor repeatedly attacked Krishnamoorthi during the debate, underscoring his frontrunner status in the race. The congressman is led in virtually every public poll on the Democratic contest and enjoys an impressive cash advantage. At one point during the debate, on a question about supporting term limits, Stratton suggested Krishnamoorthi had been an ineffective member of Congress.
But to be in Congress for a decade and only get 4 bills passed and signed into law, whether it's by a Republican president or a Democratic president, 4 bills. And do you know what those 4 bills are? To rename post offices.
I think what people need is the truth, Lieutenant Governor. I didn't just pass 4 bills. I actually passed the law that actually modernizes our nation's skills-based education system, providing higher quality skills-based education for 11 million people annually. I passed the law that provides mental health resources to healthcare professionals for the first time. I got 76 other bills signed into law, including money back to our district, $1 million for Cook County Health to help people with their healthcare needs.
Stratton was hit on her own track record of receiving corporate PAC money.
Corporate PAC money I take, you see who I take corporate PAC money from. Unlike the commercial that the lieutenant governor has, that is paid for by dark money, and we don't know who's behind those commercials. You know who I get corporate PAC money from. Check the record. I vote like my constituents want me to vote.
On taxes, the candidates had their own perspectives.
As part of my People Over Profits plan, we do need to tax millionaires, billionaires, and corporations at their fair share. I'm not saying more, not saying less.
Is by giving a tax break to middle-class families and paying for it with the tax increase on those making $1 million or more and our corporations.
With regard to taxes, I believe that with regard to what he calls the big, beautiful bill, I call the large, lousy law. That particular bill essentially ends up funding 50% of the benefits for the top 5% of income owners. That is completely wrong, and that's why I voted against it. I would consider any progressive taxation plan and hiking taxes on the wealthiest.
And lastly, on workforce development, the candidates all addressed AI.
I'm proud of our record here in Illinois of what Governor Pritzker and I have been able to get done. I'm proud that we have created thousands of jobs. I'm proud that we've made Illinois an island for reproductive freedom. I'm proud we have passed an assault weapons ban and done so much more to make progress for the people of Illinois. So the way that I look at it is we need to make sure that as part of my plan to expand access to the middle class and create jobs like we have done here in Illinois, we have to make sure that as we move into these technologies and continue to see them expand, that we are thinking about how to make sure there's reskilling and upskilling, and that we are creating pathways for young people to be a part of these new technologies. I know that one of the things that I want to see happen as we think about trade and technical education, and I think there's a great opportunity for AI in that standpoint, that I certainly want to see us include Pell Grants, which cover four-year universities, to be expanded to trade and technical education so that more young people can have access to those opportunities.
I wanted to do workforce because I wanted to make sure my constituents had the training that they needed to work in the AI industry. I always hold up the Kankakee Career Center that's in my district, where kids go to high school in the day, then they go to the Career Center in the afternoon, and there they learn different trades. So I think we need to do more in high school to get people trained in the AI field.